Oh, there we come.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can see us and hear us. Just checking some settings. Carl and I will be with you in a minute. If you can, it would be lovely if you can, in the chat or with an emoji, let us know that you can see my screen. You can hear and see us both. We just give everybody a minute or two because in some people, thanks for the emoji. Oh, sorry. If we can just, I know the school day ends for some right now, so if we have a minute or two.
I see there's a hand raised.
I think
Moses.
I just think they were telling
that they can see us and hear us.
Yeah, so just maybe.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, can we hear?
No, it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake, man. Sorry.
Not a problem, Moses.
No problem. We're just checking. I just want to check that if anybody knows if there's people stuck in the lobby. I hope the lobby. I think the lobby will.
I'm watching the lobby. There's only one person waiting, and yeah, it's not a person.
It's an AI tool.
Yeah. Is it Jordine? Your hand is up as well?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Sorry, did I say your name incorrectly?
Yes, is correct. I'm Mr. Cook. I'm from the Department of Education, Northern Cape.
Oh, welcome. Thank you.
Some of our teachers registered for this course today, but they haven't received the link to this course yet.
Okay.
So they are starting to get in.
Do you want us to just post it in the chat?
If we post it in the chat.
It might be a bit difficult for me to share with them because I don't have all their email addresses.
Okay.
So maybe from your side, maybe share with them.
Oh no, we won't be able to. We won't be able to share.
I don't. So Malcolm is the organizer of the. Just Carl, I'm muting my microphone.
Sure.
Maybe post it in the chat in the meantime, because anybody who knows anybody trying to get in, that's one way.
Yeah.
I will share it as far as I can.
Okay.
I have a suggestion.
Right, I'm just checking who's in the waiting room. Okay, people added to the chat, see more. Okay. I'm just about to get the link and I'll post it so that everybody will have it. Right. Okay, here is the join link. If there's anybody that you know of that is waiting or that doesn't have the link, I'm just checking. As far as I know, I've only got one person sitting in the lobby at the moment. Okay, Malcolm, you're in. Hey.
Hi. Yes, I am.
Okay,
Sorry,
great.
I'm on the call with Satu for that follow-up training, but I was called in on this call, so I thought maybe you guys needed help, but I think.
Malcolm.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The problem is the department official said some people who registered never got the registration email with the link. So we posted in the chat.
Okay, perfect. I did share it with Jawuddin because he also had a challenge. They registered after 2 and then they said they haven't received it, but it should be sent out automatically. So it could be in the
Okay.
spam folders of people, but we're trying to circulate it via their WhatsApp groups as well. So if there
Okay,
are
cool.
teachers on board, if they could share the links with their fellow teachers, that would be greatly appreciated because it is set up to automatically go out upon registration.
Perfect. We've posted it in the chat, so as long as people can share it, then we shouldn't have a problem.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
We're just going to give people a minute or two to join since there's a challenge. So we are here. We are, if you have the ability to have 2 devices, in other words, if you're on your phone and use a computer as well, or switch or minimize, you're also welcome to do that. Otherwise, you can just follow along. And I do know that the recording link automatically comes through to the registered people. And I'm not sure. I think the attendance will come. I'm just
Yeah, I
making
see Jonathan's
sure.
also posted a link as well.
Sorry, I've got it minimized, so I'm not sure.
That's good. I'm just watching the lobby. Right, there's nobody waiting in the lobby, and we've got. Let's see. Okay. Right, if you guys wouldn't mind just popping a message in the chat, just letting us know what schools you're all from, just a bit of networking. It's always good to introduce ourselves. While Lyneth is busy there, I'll just let you know that I am Kyle van der Merwe. I am an former English teacher turned literacy innovation specialist. I hail from Johannesburg, South Africa. I teach at Brescia House School and have been teaching for the last 16, 17 years and have been in the EdTech space for the last 10.
And welcome everybody. My name is Lyneth Crichton. I'm the head of innovation and a CAT teacher also at Brescia House School. I tell my children I'm BC. I'm from before CAT, so I've been teaching. We won't go after how many years after Carl. I've been around. I'm a Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellow. Carl is also a Microsoft Innovative Educator. So we participate in the Microsoft Innovator Educator program every year. Both of us have written our Microsoft Certified Educator exams, and I'm not sure if there are teachers who've done that program with me before on the call, or have done it through some other program. It is the program that allows you to be certified in Microsoft's pedagogy way of teaching 21st century skills. So it stands for, it's all about 21st century learning, and I'm a Microsoft Office expert. I do have my master's in ICT and education. I'm an author, speaker, and most importantly, I'm a mom of 2 children, one of which is studying to be a teacher. And my husband's a teacher. I'm saying that up front because I often talk about them. And just so we know, we work in a girls' school, so we often refer to them as girls instead of learners or pupils, so or students.
Just moving across to the lobby.
So Carl will do the lobby. We are both available in the chat. So if you are have a question.
Bless you.
Thank you. So if you have a question and you'd like to pop it in the chat, we will try and help, and we'll also try and answer your questions. It does have attendance link, and there will be a recording which will be sent and after the event. I'm just waiting for the link for the attendance, and as soon as we know it, we'll have we'll let you know. Carl, if Malcolm sends it on the chat, then
Sure.
you'll get it. The other thing is, please keep your mics on mute. We will, at the end of the session, have time, or during the session, we will have times for questions and answers. So please, at that time, you're free to unmute your mic and talk, or keep typing in the chat. We do know that data is a challenge, so you don't necessarily need your camera, but while we're not, if you're just listening to us, please can you mute your microphones.
You are muted, Lynette.
Not sure how that happened. Did the
It was me.
gentleman that from the Department of Education, sorry, I missed his name. Did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I tried to share it. I shared as far as I could, and I'm hoping that people will attend still.
Okay.
Sure. Do you want to say anything to begin the session, or are you happy for us to just go?
No, we haven't said anything so far, so you are good to go. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, so does any of this sound familiar? Sunday night struggle, writing report comments, differentiating the same lesson, crafting a firm but kind parent email, building a rubric from scratch, again, planning a subs lesson at 6 a.m., feeling dreadful. What happens if you could get 11 hours back? That's what they reckon from statistics that you can get, that AI can save you. And if AI only gave me 3 in a week, that's a whole hundreds of hours. And I know that some of you are right busy in exam time. Those people are 4-term schools, and you've been setting exams and marking exams. So we're here to tell you more about how AI can assist you in some of those admin tools. So we're going to go over. Sorry, I just wanted to check. It was recording, sorry. I'm going to go over today's session. So we're going to start with the core concepts of AI, then the concept of prompt writing, and linked to that, responsible AI that we have to think about when we use prompts, and those actually work for any AI tool. And then we are going to delve into Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft Copilot's Teach and Study and Learn, and how AI is changing classrooms. So please, if you have questions, pop them in the chat as we go along. And every now and then we're going to check that you're still with us. So let's start. If you could post, use an emoji. If you put up your hand now, we're not going to ask if you will have something to say. So you're welcome to put up your hand. Just let us know, Carl and I, that you're there, you're with us, and you're ready to learn and find out something new. And we hope you have fun. So let's, oh, there's a heart, there's a hand up.
There we go.
So we know there's at least 2 people, Carl. There's a few more.
We've got a whole bunch coming through.
Yeah, just for housekeeping, I forgot to mention, if you're in a Teams call, the speaker view under view is actually the best view to see the most of the speaker slides. So if you want to change your view, that's to go to more and then go to view on your, or the little icon with the person. And there's some amazing schools coming through on the list. So let's delve right in. Carla, like. So what is the AI landscape? So it is creating, using AI tools that generate text, that generate images, so infographics, all kinds of images. It is a tools that you can use to create slides and documents and spreadsheets. It's tools that can create video and audio. And Microsoft Copilot is the tool we're going to talk about today, and it's built into Microsoft 365. Because it's built into Microsoft 365 and it falls under the school accounts, it forms part of the commercial data protection. So the data and the prompts that you put into your Copilot chats don't get used to train the AI models further. In other AI tools, that is not true. They do get used to train other AI, the actual model. The prompts and responses are not saved or linked to your account. No one in Microsoft can view the data, and it's free with every Microsoft 365 account. So today, when we get to the Copilot specific section, I'm going to show you where we're going to use Copilot. So here are the concepts of AI. Carl, you want to explain?
Sure. I was out of my screen there for a second. Right. Okay. So this is necessarily what we're looking at with artificial intelligence. Okay. So AI is when a computer performs tasks normally needed for the human brain thinking. Okay, so examples like this include recognizing faces, translating languages, recommending videos, anything that's necessarily done from the thinking perspective. Generative AI creates new content, images, text, codes, audio by learning patterns. Okay, so generally it's what we call large amounts of existing data that is necessarily available on the internet in the open space. And generative AI is able to utilize that to create new things necessarily using the existing data that's present. Now, when we look at the type of AI that we're going to be using, particularly when it comes to things like Copilot and the functionality within Copilot, is large language model, LLMs. Now, LLMs is an engine behind the actual AI thinking, the AI tool, and it's trained on massive text databases. So the one thing that's particularly cool about the Microsoft one is that all our information is protected. So when you encounter other AI platforms, we need to remember that the information that we feed into that platform extends the usage and the data, and they store it. So they use it for their own gain. They use it for their own tools as well. And essentially, generative AI understands human thinking using human language. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
So, and remember that the large language model is the part that differentiates between the different tools. So that is the part that's almost proprietary, is the large language model and what they specialize in. So though Copilot is trained in a lot of text data sets, it also now is branching off into images, and I'm sure eventually maybe audio and video, but it's the data used to train it. It's the textbooks in a teacher's shelves that we have for teaching and learning. It's what we can do. And we're just going to explain quickly about how the shift has come from searching to generating. So for a long time now, and as I told you, I'm before CAT, I'm actually before Google or Bing. I'm sorry about this. Is a school in my classroom, so in a minute I'll tell them to be quiet. Carl, is the noise bad?
It's just people. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not bad at all.
Okay.
It's just people walking through the venue. I can see them moving across on the other side.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so it's the change from what happens when you search, which when I originally taught the predecessor for CAT, which was computer studies, we started teaching students, and as a teacher, we had to learn how to get the most out of Bing or Google. We had to learn about finding web page, how it returned the links and the parts of the web page. You choose the results you see, and it's accurate as the source page, but it's fast and you still do the reading. So for example, I am over here. I just want to check everybody's still with us and can see my Bing search window.
I can see it.
Yeah, okay. So for example, a grade 4 concept is the water cycle. And if we type the word water cycle and pressed enter, originally we just got text with links to websites, and we used to teach them not to use Wikipedia because that was the top one. Then it expanded to show you images of the water cycle, videos of the water cycle, and now it's even expanded into adding at the top, in mine, Copilot search, that option, which is the AI generated response. So even if you think that the students or you are not using an AI tool, you are now skipping the Wikipedia, skipping looking down as you go down the page and finding the most common information. You are reading what Copilot creates for you. And as with the image, as with a search in Bing or another search engine, the more specific you are, the better your results are. So if I ask for worksheets, I'm going to get information related to worksheets. Okay, so just like when you when you do a search on in a search engine, you have to be cognizant of the prompt. Sorry, Carl, I have to tell them to be quiet.
Okay.
Just, I'm going to,
Oh, no, you
maybe
talk,
you
I
could
can.
just
You talk.
explain, no, explain what AI is. I'm closer. Sorry about that. It was getting louder and louder, and I was losing my train of thought. So what is actually AI? So it's a brainstormer. There is a question in the chat already about a lesson plan, and I'm going to put a pin in it and tell you that I'm going to circle back, and I promise I will answer your question. I have seen it. And Carl, just remind me when we get there.
Perfect. I'm going to flag the question, and I've got it.
Okay, but it is a brainstormer. You can bounce the conversations off with people, and it helps you. Now, I tell the teachers and the students of my school, AI is like having a very, very smart friend. In other words, they know everything. You know, those friends that you have that you can ask them anything. You can say, what about this? You can brainstorm. It is about having a conversation. It is also the person who writes the first messy version of emails, rubrics, lesson plans. That is what AI can do for you. And it's a time machine in the fact that it can get back time for you to save by doing the things that you repeatedly done. And simple tasks like going to look in your textbooks on your shelf, there are ways to not quite automate it, but make it easier and faster for you to access that information. But at the end of the day, it's all about the prompt. Just like searching a web browser was all about the search string that you put in, this is all about prompt writing. You've got to learn how, the better your prompt, the better your output. And I'm going to quote my grade 10s, which she doesn't know that there is a principle, garbage in equals garbage out. She just told me the one day, Mrs. Cratton, if you write a rubbish prompt, you get rubbish answers. And simple as that. From the mouths of the grade 10s, the 16-year-olds who know everything, if your prompt is not good, the results are not good. So the best thing to learn is a strategy of making better prompts. So there are 4 things that you can divide and include in your prompt. For example, for the first thing is whenever you ask an AI tool to create or do something, you tell the tool who are they going to be. You give them a persona. You tell them who they must pretend to be, a teacher, a student, a parent. And I often refer to that as a Kickstarter prompt. In other words, you set the scene for the AI tool so the AI tool understands where you're going and who they are imitating in this prompt session, especially in Microsoft Copilot, where it doesn't tend to track between chats, and especially when you at the beginning when it doesn't know you very well, is you've got to set the scene. I am a grade 10 to 12 computer applications technology teacher in South Africa, teaching at an independent school in Johannesburg. That's what I mean by the persona, and you telling the prompt tool via the prompt who they must be. Then the objective, what do you want them to do? You want them to write a lesson plan for photosynthesis. And so what do you want them to do today? Then who is it for? Because that's very important, because if you are creating a lesson plan for a grade 4 on the water cycle or a grade 10 on the water cycle, the AI tool needs to know where to pitch its results. Also, if the understanding of you being a teacher versus you're explaining it to a grade 10, it understands what sort of language level to do. Some AI tools have more language models, as in they understand the nuances of language levels than others, but it always helps to tell who the audience for whatever you're trying to do. Then the last part is to set a limit or a direction. In other words, keep it simple, use simple language, use only 300 words, give me an outline, give me slides, and then have a conversation. It's called reiterate. In other words, what it gives you, respond back. Tell it whether that's something it likes or don't like, and so that it learns in the chat and adds more, so that it gives you something that you really are looking for and can be a benefit. And Carl, we've done this a few times. I have to say, I know for me, and I'm sure for you, how our prompts have evolved over time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's something, in terms of Lilith and I are obviously in a really lucky position in that innovation is the prime focus of what we do, both just on different ends of the spectrum. Innovation on the digital side and tools and education with Lilith, and then mine on the literacy side in terms of the library and our resource center. But we've, in the last 3 years, in terms of these sorts of courses that we've done, and that what we've really found is how our own prompting skills have shifted and changed, and how the AI tools that we've been using have shifted and changed along with them. And it's almost preemptive in the sense that when you're asking it to do something, it also now responds with a "would you like me to rather," in terms of that preemptive thinking. And it's really the tools, and the key here is this idea of persona, objective, audience, and then setting that boundary, because the boundaries really help us to generate exactly what you are looking for, especially in the education space for the classroom.
Official broadcast of FIFA
So,
World Cup
for
2020.
example, here is an example of, and that's why the person with the lesson plan, you are going to see it come up often, is, so if we just write a lesson plan, that it's a generic output. It could be any grade, any subject, any country, and it's not useful without lots of work. But if we say, act as an experienced grade 8 natural sciences teacher, write a 50-minute lesson plan on the water cycle. The lesson is for grade 8 learners in South Africa mixed ability class, and include a starter activity, 3 teaching points, and a group activity, and an exit ticket. That's a very American version of exit ticket. It's what they say you have to do before you leave the class, and then you align to caps. That is a much better prompt, and therefore will give you much better results. We are going to go into Copilot in a minute, but this is just to reinforce the understanding of what a good prompt looks like versus a weak prompt. So here are 3 more prompts, and Carl, I'm not sure if you can post them in the chat for them to copy, and those people that have already been in Copilot can start using them. But here are 3 more prompts. All of these Copilot is more than capable of creating and doing. So the first one I color-coded for you. For a rubric, act as an experienced South African high school teacher, create a rubric to assess a grade 11 oral presentation, and obviously you put the topic in. And then the rubric is for grade 11 learners. They include 4 criteria. So the audience is grade 11 learners. The object is the rubric. They are acting as a South African teacher. But the boundary is 4 criteria, 4 performance levels, and format the rubric as a clear table, keeping the wording learner-friendly and easy for teachers to use. So based on that, if you look at the report comment, same idea is to act as a South African grade 9 teacher, write a report comment for learner. Now, I just want to point out, so unlike the top prompt where we put topic in square brackets, and obviously you would fill in your topic, when we're writing report comments, even in Copilot, I do it this way, which protects my data, is I don't actually put the child's name in. I put this square bracket with learner name or just name, and therefore when AI generates it, it doesn't even know who I'm talking about. You're not giving any information into the tool. You are just saying, create one for name, who participates in well in class, but struggles to complete written tasks on time. So that is you must act as the grade 9 teachers. What do you need to do? The objective is a report comment for a formal report, and the boundary is positive, honest, professional. 3 sentences only, and do not use first person pronouns. And obviously that's whatever your report comment guidelines say that you would fit in. So, sorry, I'm just checking the chat because I saw, but it was you. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome, Fabian. Glad you could join us. So the last one is to act as a teacher who explains clearly content to a high school student. Summarize the document uploaded into 5 key points. The summary is for grade 10 learners in South Africa. Use simple languages, short sentences, bullet points. Use only information from the uploaded document. And if something is not clear in the document, say so. So those are better prompts than just saying summarize a PDF or create me a rubric on the water cycle. So that's what we talk about when we talk about creating prompts. And before we actually use the prompt, there's something that we have to understand and consider, and that's the responsible use of AI. The ethics, the privacy, the accessibility considerations for educators when using AI. And I'm going to explain it with an example that a long time ago, you couldn't even do this, and that's how AI has evolved, but it is still not perfect. So AI reflects biases in its training. Carl, you're on the lobby.
Yep, I'm on it.
Thank you. Okay, so for example, if I ask, and this is the literal prompt, and I will show you in a minute, for an image of a banana, I got 2 years ago, if you asked this, you only ever got a bunch of bananas because AI didn't understand that you could get 1 banana. This is done the beginning of the week, a week ago. And as you can see, I wrote an image of a banana. I got a beautiful, isolated, beautiful sprayed, looks like banana without black, any kind of ripening lines at all on a white background. AI assumed a whole lot of things. The same as when I asked it for an image of a grape. Now, 2 years ago, if you asked for a banana or a grape, you only got bunches of bananas or bunches of grapes. Now I can ask for a banana and a bunch, and I get the 2 different ones. But each time, it's giving me an isolated, beautiful marketing video image of the piece of fruit. But please look at the grapes. We don't just get green grapes. We get red grapes, pink grapes, and dark purple grapes. But when you just ask for a grape, it goes to what it knows and produces what it has in its training data. So the more specific the prompt, the better the response. And for example, if you say an image of a teacher, you get a teacher against the background of, and I just want to check, go there. Sorry, so let me just go up. Carl, can you see my Copilot?
Yes, I can. And I can see it's generating an image.
So it's loading the images. So this is in Copilot, which is built into Teams. It's the Copilot button. So there, an image of a banana, an image of a grape, my grape, bunch of bananas, image of a bunch of grapes, and when it'll load. And when I say an image of a teacher, it will give me an image of what it considers a teacher, which happens to be a lady writing on a chalkboard. with classroom rules because that's what it decided. If I asked for an image of a South African teacher, it told me I cannot generate the image because it doesn't understand. It means that its training data doesn't have images of teachers that are classified as South African teachers. And Carl and I will tell you over the 2 years, it has completely changed to what it can and can't do and what it generates and its assumptions. But we have to understand that it makes assumptions based on its training data. Also, like any smart friend, which is how I tell my students in my class, AI is not always right. That smart friend, when you push them for a quick answer, it makes it up. AI is no different. The faster you want the answer, the more likely it is to make it up, to be inaccurate. It's called hallucinations in AI. It makes up references. In research, it makes up, it puts people, if you create images, you get extra hands, extra feet. It's getting better and better, but it still makes things up, especially when it's under pressure. Think of your smart friend. When they're under pressure, they're just going to say something to sound smart. AI is the same. So we also have to understand privacy when we create these prompts. Don't enter sensitive learner data into any AI tools. Is my preference. Otherwise, check the school and Microsoft data protection policies. Also, academic integrity. AI use must align with your school policy, and if you don't have one, more and more places it's being built in with being like a robot. Green means you can use AI, yellow being you can't really use AI, it's limited use, and red is no AI use. So understand that AI reflects the data was trained on, so it can be biased and it can be unfair and lean towards a certain side of the story. Then AI is used in all sorts of accessibility tools. So if we had closed caption on closed captions on our Teams call, that would be AI. Every time you use any kind of spell checker or editor in even Word, that is AI. Predictive text in your messaging on your phone is AI. It is the use of AI to increase accessibility. And AI is just a tool. So it's a tool, but you're the teacher. You remain responsible for the contents and the judgments. So you can think of it like this. AI is just the first draft. You're the editor. It's your expertise, your judgment, your knowledge of the students that's irreplaceable. So you always review, because it could be wrong. You always personalize afterwards with the student's name and something that is between you and the students, and you teach the students AI literacy too. And like I showed you with in a Bing search, the students are using AI, and my class AI is part of our syllabus, but we often talk about AI, and the students know that you're using AI if you've used it. So be upfront and transparent about it, but and show. I have this thing about modeling what they should do. And that's the way they're going to learn, is if you credit AI when you've used AI and you assist them in using AI too. So 80% of, it's a 80-20, 80% is AI, 20% of your time gets the way, and it's your expertise that need to be added to AI. So Carl, before we jump onto Copilot, is there
Yeah.
any way
So there are a
I-
couple of questions if we want to just kind of track that. Okay,
Maybe
so
we should
first,
just, before we track that, just check everybody's still there and not asleep or
no,
gone
they
for
are there.
tea.
They've been responding in the chat, so I do see
Okay.
I see a couple of
Well,
people.
if you can, there's some emojis, if you wouldn't mind giving us emoji or two, just so we know you're still there. And Carl is either going to verbally answer or shout if you need me to answer.
So I've got one of the questions was specifically asking about lesson plans and a specific format. So we're definitely going to be touching on the idea of lesson plans as well as generating such using Copilot as a tool. If there is a specific requirement in terms of the format that the DBE is looking for, you could use that format as a PDF template, uploaded into your prompt, and it will generate the response in line with that. So it would be set as the barriers that we've spoken about before, as well as the parameters that you're looking at. So obviously, the more comprehensive, the more specific your prompt, the better the response and the output method. Does that answer your question?
I'm not sure, but we are going to do a couple of that towards the end, so they can, maybe they want to see at the end before they answer. Carl, I saw a hand go up and then it went down,
Yes.
so I'm not sure if that
I
was the
see it's
missing.
Robert Boys. I see his hand is up. Is there a question you would like to ask us?
If you would like to, you can switch your mic on and ask the question. Maybe he just put his hand up to say he's still there.
To say that we were here. And then I've also got Michelle Pretorius has posted her statement question twice. I have responded in the chat as well. But how do we ensure that AI supports learning in the foundation phase without replacing the hands-on play-based and teachers-guided experience that young children need? So this is obviously something that's very much trending in terms of the discussion of AI in education. And this is something that we are working with. This is the idea, because AI is never going to replace. Remember, it's only going to support and extend. And there's different ways in which you can use AI to support and scaffold the lesson around you, especially when it comes to differentiated learning. So that's something we're going to be chatting about a little later as well. And if you join us for our next session where we speak about the responsible usage of AI, those are the sorts of things that we'd be talking about in that session as well.
Carl, I'm not sure. This is the Northern Cape. I'm not sure. I think they do have that session, but with other facilitators. But yes.
Oh, yes.
But it's also the concept that we have to understand, which is why I used the grade 4 water cycle. I watched a grade 4 do that. The teacher might thinks maybe that the children are not using AI tools, but they are exposed to AI tools all the time. Even the simple things of algorithms in videos and music choice, that is AI. So as long as we address it and teach them what they're understanding. So when they keep watching Peppa Pig on YouTube, it's going to give them more Peppa Pig and it's going to give them more related. That is all AI. And it's the understanding that AI won't replace the teacher, but we have to use it, harness it, and make it not only better for us, but we need the students or the learners or the girls and boys in our care to understand how that's going to develop, because for them it's not going anywhere. It is going to be what they grow up with and are exposed to, and therefore I think you're going to do a whole session on responsible AI use. We just wanted to touch on it because when you're going to use an AI tool, you must think about what you're getting as its answers. So, Carl, I'm not sure if there's any other one.
No, those were the predominant ones. We spoke about the idea in terms of the lesson plans. We've also spoken about like what. Yeah, no, I think those are the main questions that people have been sitting with at the moment. So yeah, well, you know, once we get through the basic kind of landscape of AI and the tool that we're going to be using, we get into the fun stuff of really playing generating the kinds of things that you're asking about.
Carl, can you just check? There was a message from Malcolm about looking for the attendance register,
Sure.
and he sent you a message. So just, I'm just
Oh, he did just add me
conscious of
there.
we need to track it down, the link. It's a
Okay.
forms link. Okay, so what can Microsoft Copilot do? It can create lesson plans, rubrics, worksheets. It can create parent emails, report comments, summarize documents and websites, generate images and creative content, answer questions, explain concepts. It comes with a commercial data protection. Searches are not linked to individual accounts. Prompts and responses are not saved, and data is not used to train AI models, so it doesn't form part of the LLM, and no one at Microsoft can view your data. So we are now going to practice and do some things, and if you can follow along, and you have the ability to copy from the chat, otherwise they will be in the chat when you've finished. So the first one is we're going to rewrite this passage at a second grade level, reading and keeping all the main ideas. This gives me a version, then give me a version for a grade 8 who needs extending. So if you have a passage, and we're just going to open. So right now we're going to go back to Copilot in Teams. So I just want to pop it on the screen. So as I said earlier, this is Copilot at Teams. So remember that at the top, you can have a new chat. And if we talk about the prompts, we first need to give it a Kickstarter or ground because that prompt doesn't have a persona. So so I'm just going to say act as a South African teacher just to assist me with some English passages. Okay, so now please, one tooltip is on the right. You type it in over here on the right, and I will test it. If you press the microphone, I don't think it'll work because I'm in Teams. Oh, it did too. I just need to. One of the best options is to use the microphone because when you have a conversation, you speak more naturally with the AI tool by using the.
Okay, I've posted the link for the certification for attendance today, as well as the QR code. And you'll see the link there. So you can either scan the QR code on your screen with your phone and fill that out. Otherwise, just follow the prompts along in the form as well. Thanks. That's from Malcolm.
So so what I'm using, which you can't see on my other screen, so if I keep looking left, is I kindly, per favor of one of our teachers, have some grade 7 history resources that I'm going to use for the different pieces of or some of the activities. So this has an introduction. So I'm just copying and pasting this text, and I'm asking the please rewrite this passage at a grade 2 level. I pasted it and pressed send. Simple, so it tells me that the simple passage rewritten is simple sentences, easy word, and clear meaning. So long ago, so now this could help. And the thing that is very nice about Copilot is it gives you some suggestions at the bottom, maybe I would like to create a grade 2 comprehension questions, and I can click on it and it will put it in and I can send it in. And the second part of our prompt was to give me a version for grade 8 who needs extension. Okay, so sorry, it takes a while when I cycle through. Let me just push that. Oh. Okay, so here it's given me some questions. Not that a grade 2 would answer comprehension. And this is where the teacher part. So now rewrite for a grade 8 who needs extension. Now, I haven't been specific. So is it going to rewrite the passage or the questions? Well, it rewrote the passage. It tells me what it's done that makes it different. And then it asks me if it wants to create comprehension questions or make a source-based activity for the grade 8 learners. Remembering that I told it it was a South African teacher, that's why it knows to go to CAPS. So it already knows, because I've said it's South African. Here it's created me source A, and it's given me questions for a history test, understanding the source, the interpretation, and it's given me the memo answers, and you can carry on the conversation. So that was quite quick. We now have some resources for grade 7, and 8, and grade 2 even. So now let's try the second one. So if we want to create a parent communication to ask parents to send them an email. So there are 3 situations, right? A firm email to a parent whose child hasn't handed in homework. The second one is a warm note about the student who showed real growth and make it specific. And then the last one is an email about a social conflict. So remember, we can use the brackets, the placeholders. So now if we go back to Teams, just because that's a good place to start. I'm starting a new chat, and this time I'm going to give it a bash. Act as a South African high school computer applications technology teacher in sending professional drafting professional emails to parents about my students. So now I can go back while it does that, and I'm just going to go back to my slides. And because it didn't understand, it's already started concerning a general academic. It's given me missing tasks, homework, positive feedback, email, behavior and class management, invitation to meet. And I could say, oh, that's not what I thought I'd copied. I can put the prompt, a firm email about someone who hasn't done the handed in their homework. So everybody would have access to Copilot in their actual part of in Teams, but also if you log on to Microsoft 365, while it's doing that, if I go to Microsoft 365 and I log in with my account, the actual first place that it lands is on Copilot. And if you open or collapse the navigation over here, you can see, so this is two different accounts, so that's why it looks a bit different, but there are all my chats at the bottom, but I can answer a question. And the most important part is that this is within my school account. So I can ask, I can use the prompt. This is the web version. You also might have a version that is connected to either the toolbar, which you can't quite see at the moment, that is the bottom of your Windows 11. If you've got Windows 11, that's part of your built-in apps. Or if you've got a newer device and a newer keyboard, even had a Copilot key, which will open the Copilot app. But it also works on a smartphone of any kind or a tablet. You can download the tool, and we're going to come back to the phone in a second or two. So that's just taking time. So I'm just going to move on. So this is the one thing about AI, is that some part of it is it's reliant on server generation, and the more people that are on at the time, sometimes the slower things get. So you do have a cup of tea and a bit of patience, so that you can wait for assistance, almost like standing in the queue. So while we stand in the queue, we're going to carry on. So here is a lesson plan and rubrics. Okay. As you can see, there's the estimated times that you would get back. You could create a rubric, a bell ringer questions. So very American, exit tickets, bell ringer questions. I love the terms for, and you can write and ask them to do it. The more these prompts obviously won't give you as much detail as if you follow the process for using the persona, the object, the audience, and the boundaries. So here's some more examples of support doing an email where you can use grade 7 name as the placeholder. And right now I'm going to just try a new chat because it's still stuck. So if I now look here, I've got my South African English and comprehension, and then I've got a drafting chat. I can rename this chat to emails so that I can go back to the chat at any time, and I can paste the chat that I'm trying to, the new prompt for the new email that I want. I can paste it, and now it already knows things about there, and it will create them. Earlier I was talking about if I like something, I can say I like it or they don't like it at the top here. The more you train it with, yes, I like this information, the person would, the AI tool knows. Most of you will know that you can copy the response directly and paste it into Word. You might not know. So here's my email. So I could copy this, but I actually could go to Pages, which opens a different page, and I can directly edit it in the prompt, the response like this, which means that if I then can copy that text, but I can also export it to a Word document by clicking on Word document, it's not going to work in this version because it's going to want me to log on. But while it's here, it's got more suggestions on the left. Copilot is still open. I can edit it directly, and then I can close it and I can share it. In certain versions of Copilot, depending on your licensing level, so I'm just going to paste the same message. This is in my school one. So I do have a paid for Copilot, which is why it looks slightly different. You can see that it's at the top, it talks about work or the web. And I can result directly to related to my work. I also can have it read aloud to me, and if I export this to Word, I just want to show you what it does. It actually creates a Word document that it puts in my OneDrive just like this. And that works for anything that you've created. And it actually saves it with the name, the document as the name there, which if we go to our OneDrive, it would be in your documents. It will sit here. So you can save it. You can save it for later. You can share the response, which means you can share the response to somebody, like I can share it with Carl and they can get it. And in some versions of it will also open directly into Outlook. There, it comes up with a paper plane. It was there a week ago. Now the paper plane's gone again. It's one of the new that they are experimenting. So you could literally open this from here into Outlook. Sorry, Carla, wrong screen. So it can help you with these admin tasks, outing and permission slips, syllabus and subs lessons, instant quiz generation, that you can all do in normal Copilot. So that is all text generated content, but Copilot does something else. So it can create images too. That being that it can create a lesson visual, a class poster, presentation slides. It's not images. Copilot is not so good. It will create your slides for you. It just makes them white with text on them. These are image generation prompts. So you don't have to give it a persona, but it's good to give it instructions. So I always like this to explaining to a 4-year-old what you want. The more detail, the more likely it is that the 4-year-old is going to follow your instructions. The more detailed your prompts, the more likely AI is going to give you what you're looking for the first time. So now we're going to have an AI challenge. You're going to create an infographic personal information image that you can post. It was all the rage about a week ago. So, and I'm just going to.
I'm gonna take this prompt and I'll put it in the chat for us.
Okay, but Carly is going to do that. But I while he does that, I want to show you something else. Ooh, bar came up. So I have Copilot on my phone. So if I go to Copilot or I take the photo before I go to Copilot. So if I click on the plus sign, so this is Copilot on my phone, I click on the plus sign, which, sorry, I can't show you. I should.
It's because of your background.
Oh, let me just.
If you remove the background, it should allow you to see. It's just because it's going to blur it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me just fix my camera quick. None. Can you see my phone?
So long there we go. That's it. We can see it clearly.
Okay, so I know you can't see exactly what is in the prompt, but I'm going to do it simultaneously over here. So my phone looks much like this. So but a phone always starts on a new chat. So if you click on this plus sign, you can click on one of the options here is not only the uploading images, you get the option to take a photo. So I just want to take that off for the moment. And I want you to take a photo of just the right-hand side of the screen. So if I take a photo of the prompt, so in my prompt, I'm going to camera, I'm taking a photo of the prompt. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to load. So this is the one thing I'm going to, and then I say transcribe the text on the image, and hopefully it wants to behave today. So on my phone, and it's going to pop up just now as soon as my
You can see,
365 syncs. So let's just go back here. Okay, so it's literally transcribed the slide text for me. So it's synced to my browser. So this is in my browser. If you look here, here is transcribe this text. So I clicked on the plus on my phone. I took a photo and I chose camera. I took a photo of it and I said transcribe the text. And here it says, here is the full transcription of the visible text. So I now copy this and I paste it in the prompt and I add. So I have a selfie. Obviously, you can do the same thing again. You can add a photo again of where you are at. So I have a picture that I took on my phone. It's not a selfie, sorry. My husband took it for me. And I can.
I'm on the lobby.
You're on the lobby, thank you.
I'm on the lobby.
And I can, because this one. I can go to my LinkedIn profile just because this one asks for it. And I do want to encourage all teachers to get a LinkedIn profile and connect with us, Carl, and talk to us and share what they're doing. So here's my LinkedIn profile. See, it's already typed it for me. And then I hit send. And at some point, we will, because it seems a bit slow, here we go. It is linked to Canva. Oh, isn't this fun? Sometimes, like my smart friend, AI does what AI thinks you want it to do rather than what you asked. So you have to prompt it to tell you to create the image. If you have used any AI tool for a while, you can do it, which was the age for it. So these are all created in AI with different prompts, the same idea, but uploading your image. So I just want to show. They're all created with versions of an AI image. And one of the fun things to do is to say, use everything you know about me and put it on an image, which it does, and it can create an infographic. You get different kinds of results with the different AI tools. So, and our Copilot tool is still coming along. So Carl, before we carry on, maybe if there's any more chats, if anybody's done their image, how about that? So there's my Copilot one. I'm not sure. Sometimes the QR codes work and sometimes they don't. If you click on the edit, it will actually open this and I can edit the text, change information. Sometimes the QR code, they get it right, and sometimes it doesn't go anywhere, which right now, it's a pretty picture of a QR code. But there we go. That's pretty cool. If anybody gets these or a version of these, it would be amazing to see yours. Carl, did you do it? Just so while we're talking.
I did do it, but apparently, according to my AI, which I'm asking it now, my name is Justin Garcia.
Oh. So
either there's a Justin Garcia masquerading as me with my picture, or alternatively, my AI is hallucinating.
It's your smartphone's making it up. I love how Access is pink. Obviously, if you do save a copy, I can download a PNG, a JPEG, or a PDF version of this image. I can copy it. I can enhance it, crop it, change the background, edit the text if I don't like anything. And I can also have a conversation to change it. And I can turn it into a fully editable slide layout. So Copilot can make Word documents, can make spreadsheets. I have created both as a CAT teacher. Are there any questions, any images behind a whole lot of screens? Is my
So one of the questions that we did have was the difference between ChatGPT and Copilot. I did compile a response there, specifically looking at the idea that Copilot and the ecosystem that exists in Microsoft is much safer in terms of our data, and also really good. It dovetails with all our Office tools as well. So work, school systems, and confidential data is really where Microsoft Copilot has the edge. In terms of ChatGPT, in terms of your own standalone kind of creative ideas, writing, personal use. And then I've given you some citations there as well if you wanted to do a bit of extra reading there, just with regards to the different AI tools. Lyneth and myself have also practiced and played around with Claude as well as Gemini. Lyneth is also on the Google side of things in terms of ecosystem. She has learned a lot about that as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different tools, and it's the right tool for the job. So it really just depends on what you prefer. But obviously Copilot just dovetails so well with our Microsoft ecosystem and in terms of the safety yeah, I would say from a safety and data perspective.
So what we need to, while you find the mute button, Mr. V.
I'm getting that.
So over here, I've got PowerPoint presentation that it decided to create for me. Not the picture, but it made a PowerPoint presentation of me. What I can tell you, if we close this and we go back here, so Copilot is built on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Here it is. Because I have a paid-for version, I can change, and it depends which version of Copilot you log into. You can change which, and these are what we refer to as LLMs, the data sets. So, and the algorithms that check them. So you can change it here. They did use Opus, which is part of Claude. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. It is now included. So AI, so Copilot sits on top, just like Edge sits on top of what is in essence Chrome. Copilot sits on top of now 2 AI models, and you can change it. And if I told you 6 weeks ago when I did this in Copilot, I didn't get such a beautiful image because AI evolves. In fact, it made me just look old and it knew nothing and it couldn't get it right. Whereas today's one is absolutely amazing. Look at Fabian. Aren't you glad you joined today? If this was a Canva shoot off, we would teach you how to do a
that's
QR
really
code,
wonderful.
but to replace that. But
I've reached
amazing.
my message limit in the chat, Miss Crichton, so I can't respond to people. I didn't realize that that was a thing.
Good thing. It's interesting that there is such a thing. Tell
Yeah.
Malcolm.
So I was just responding to Genevieve, just something that you need to remember. Sometimes spelling mistakes do occur, so just make sure, and that's for people filling out the form, that your email address is correct in terms of getting your points, as well as firewalls, schools, and in terms of your email, please do check your spam, but sometimes emails do get rejected. So you can also redeem your points using the same link with different emails as well.
So I don't know if there were any other questions now that Carl can't answer. If there is anybody who would, if you had to, which we can't say that because, so being a Microsoft person, I would have said across the board, Copilot is always evolving, and it's, well, all AI tools are, but it definitely has the ability to do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, images, and they're getting better and better. The problem is that, like Carl said, I have all of them, and there are things that I change and go to one tool for one kind of thing, and they all, the 4 branded ones, the big ones, it's a bit like I have an Apple phone and a computer, Windows laptop. I like the best of every world that there is, but because of the security of Microsoft and because how Microsoft will understand teachers, and I'm going to show you some things. A lot of this is already free and part of your AI, part of your Microsoft 365 login, and doesn't run into limits as fast. Even in some of the other ones, I run into limits. We wouldn't talk about that. So it is still one of the most affordable, best ones to do a whole range of tools. So yeah.
Ms. Crichton, I sent you mine in our Teams chat, our tenant Teams chat, and you can post it for me because yeah, it just keeps saying message limit
talked
reached.
too much. You've talked too much. That's how it works, Carl. That's usually, Carl, and my problem, that we've talked too much. I'll just, so here's, so Carl even used an image of oh, never mind. It's going to show, let me just download it first. There we go.
Yeah, it was actually showing on our screen there.
No, I know, it's got the
Yeah.
other photo that I found of you when you were earlier, you know, from an
Yes.
open day. It was showing that
Yes.
photo too. So there's Carl's image. You see, it doesn't, the irony is that if you ask Copilot to make a QR code from this link, it usually gets it right. But when you incorporate it in an image, it thinks it's a pretty thing. So you don't need any QR code makers, though you can make them in Canva too, or in PowerPoint in an add-on. So it usually will get it right from there. Cool image, Kyle. So now we're going to, I've lost the actual slideshow to push next on. So now we're going to build an AI CAPS curriculum assistant document. And just to show you, because now it's there's my QR code, and it should open. If I hold up my phone now, I've put my back. Oh, that worked. Look, it did go to my LinkedIn profile. So it can also do that in the chat itself. So I haven't tried to update it. So now we are going to create an agent based on CAPS. So don't worry about all the prompts there, because I'm going to show you. And then I'm just going to pop it in, and then these are the kind of prompts that you can ask it. So let's go back to my AI Copilot. So these are agents, what we refer to as agents. And an agent is, like I said, about a Kickstarter prompt. So I, being a CAT teacher, have a theory designer agent, which basically means that I've already taught it a whole lot of things. So now I'm going to edit this prompt so that you can see. And we're kind of going to work backwards from here. Is that it is going to take a while. Cup of tea. There we go.
So while it's doing that, I just wanted to highlight that I think it was Tabojo. Let me just quickly go back up to the message. Yes, I have asked Microsoft Copilot to create a lesson plan for grade 10 on the heating of the atmosphere. Guess what? That lesson plan is professional and covers all the subtopics I want to teach and cover.
Wow.
So he did that now.
So now you're going to learn even more that will make it even better. So this is my agent. So CAT is divided into theory and practical. So I have given it what I refer to as kickstart instructions. So I've basically created the contents, given it the persona, who it's creating for, the audience, so that I only ever have to talk about the object. So I have, as I said, paid for Copilot. So I'm able to upload these documents, but the average person can only add a link. But that's not a problem, because you can find your CAPS document online and you can get a link to it. So basically, to my prompt, I have told it, here is the CAPS curriculum. Here are some sample exam papers with the marking guidelines. There are the ATPs, the annual teaching plans for this year. If you are a team, if you run teams, you can link a team. So I literally have a team that's called CAT Resources, and these are the files in it so that I can do some more. And I'm going to show you how it works before I show you how to create one for your specific topic. Cup of tea, 3 sips, wait for AI to catch up, go to the agent. So now I can ask it to give me 3 grade 12 social implication questions related to the dark web with the marking I know they're all loving me at the moment, guidelines. Now, I don't have to write all the rest because remember, in the back of my agent, it knows what it has to do. It's helping me create theory. I've told it the language, I've told it where to look, I've given it samples, I've told it what CAPS is, so it should know what it is. So, for example, here is, don't tell my kids, no, my kids know. Grade 12 network questions. See in the story, here it is, generate 5 questions on the network for grade 12 learners of various levels. Here it is, the answer, and we'll go back to mine. Here it is, it even told me, and that's what Copilot does well, where it got the answer from. It gave me a multiple choice question with the answer, 2 short questions, 2 comparison questions, 2 scenario-based questions. It told me what it thought it was the high order, what it thought was high order, what level it was. It told me which sections it covered, and it matches the phrasing and mark distribution in the previous exams. So I have a practical one too, which I did. So that was the other thing. So my grade 12s wrote a test, and these were extra questions that I added to the test and helped. But I had an old test that some of the questions were based around the Olympic Games. It was also about networking, and they were based around the Olympic Games, and obviously of 2024. Now, obviously, that's not a thing anymore, but anybody can tell me what happens in 2 days' time. So here it is. I uploaded the document. Okay. So I said, here's the story, rewrite it. I don't want to talk about Olympic organizers. I want to talk about FIFA World Cup. And it gave it to me. And I had a conversation about specific questions that it had to correct. This is in the Theory Designer. I told it that I needed to add questions, that I wanted to have an answer for VLOOKUP. What kind of questions could I use to get the answer VLOOKUp? It told me which is simpler. I said 2 more questions. And so I went, long conversation. This is not necessarily particularly faster. Even at the very end, I gave it my 2 papers, said, can you check that there are no answers left, that it adds up and it matches the guideline? It wasn't quite right because there were answers left in the memo, in the question paper. And then I kept going on and I said, okay, so does it add up? This is my favorite thing of this tool, because the number of times that you've got a typo in your adding, never mind if I've done it 5,000 times with a calculator. But I asked it, what did it think? AI, my AI doesn't have a name. What did it think about my paper in its formatting, its mark allocation, and its covering? And it basically told me that it was fine. And I could ask it to write a summary. And I think I lost my question because I hadn't waited. But the same conversation of social implications can happen. So how do you get one for you? So the best place to start is in a chat, and you actually say, because this one's the different chat. Okay. You literally say, help me write an agent generation prompt as an English teacher to generate comprehension texts and questions on the correct levels based on the grade and reading levels, with questions and answers that I can use in a South African test always ask me the topic and the grade and refer to the attached CAPS document for more information of what should be covered in language skills. I'm not the English teacher, Carl's the English teacher. And of course it listened to that. So
I also wanted to say, while yours is generating there, I've been moonlighting as a drama teacher as well this term, and I programmed my AI with our drama CAP syllabus as well as the our SAGs, and I set a test in this last week. And if Lyneth, if you wanted me to drive, I could show them in my chat as well, but I don't have to do that. But I basically had 2 absentees and I needed to reset a section of the test. So I worked out between 15 and 20 marks that I needed to reset of the test. So I simply plugged my test in and I asked it to isolate where there was overlap in terms of questions. Which questions were testing the same areas, or where in terms of the answers would there be overlap. And then I asked it to isolate which of those questions could be replaced. I said the mark allocation that we would need to replace is around 15 to 20 marks. Make sure we're looking at a 2 to 3 mark range. And what it did is it supplied me with questions based on the different sections that I could then input into the test in order to reset the test, but necessarily reconstitute the test. And it gave me multiple options so that I could then rework those questions if I felt that it needed a little bit more clarity and a little bit more scaffolding, and it provided marking guidelines for me as well.
So, Carl, you can show them in a second or two, but I just, so you can type the instruction that I just did. If you click new agent, the first place is the chat is going to ask you to describe what you want to create. I just happen to do it in a different chat so I can copy it. You copy the contents, and so you go to new agent. You can skip describing it because I've described it, and I paste the content here and I give it a name. It's not typing. Okay, I give it a name. Now, in this one, I can go upload the document, but I don't particularly want to. I just want to show you. So this, if you were watching while Carl was talking, this is the CAPS English curriculum from the website. Copying the link, so I can actually just paste the link here. Of course, it doesn't want to work. So the challenge is how long the link is. So you can just post. It will actually know with caps without me writing it, because it, as you saw earlier, it knew about caps. But I can just add the link. That's how you would add a specific link. So you cannot add a link to a document, but you can add a link to a website. And if you've got everything in Teams, you can go to Teams over here and choose Teams, chats, meetings, to your SharePoint folders and sites. And then it will use a folder or a site. So you have another couple of options. You can put in suggested prompts that wants to pop up on the message. It's already default to creating Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents, and it will create images. And why doesn't it want to save? Oh, it's saved. If I click on preview, it should. let you taste it. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it should.
It should let you taste it, and then you can also come back and say update the instructions on the left. So in other words, you use Copilot to create it. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to create.
And if someone like Michelle Pretorius is still in the, I'm not too sure, she was having connectivity issues, but this is the kind of thing where you can specify differentiation. So when you're training an agent and when you're specifying the CAPS curriculum and the play and all that sort of stuff, this is where you could set in what we call the boundaries of things that you would like it to focus on and things that you would like it to generate. And that's how you start to necessarily train the agent in such a way that it provides the details or its outputs match your style of teaching as well as your outcomes in terms of what you require in your own classroom and subject.
So Carl, I'm not sure, but I don't want to be held up because I know we're on time. It should have come blue and I should have created it and it should pop up here. It normally does. There are built-in agents called Prompt Coach, which is wonderful for getting better at doing prompts. But I just want to delve into the last two parts of AI. Is there any questions?
Nothing in the chat so
Okay.
far, unless I'm not seeing anything because I've been limited.
Oh, okay. No, I don't see any more. So I'm just going to whiz on and then we can put our microphones at the end. So if you do have questions, either pop them in the chat. So Microsoft Teach is the most amazing, fairly recent tool that is part of Microsoft's House and Microsoft Copilot now. And sorry, I've lost the page, so I can't use it. So it sits up here. Okay, so Copilot, in Copilot, it doesn't matter whether you're in the Teams version or in the online version or in the app, it's up here. It has almost what I refer to as built-in things. So for example, it has a create lesson plan. So because we were in history, grade 7, I actually can add the content. So there's my grade 7 history. So I can do the Scramble for Africa notes and I can ask it, give me a lesson plan. That lady who asked for the lesson plan, or the person, lesson plan for a 40-minute, let's say for 3 14-minute lessons to cover the Scramble for Africa. Notes are attached with starter and learning activities. If right now it's only American standards, I can change the lesson plan. I click, obviously we are English, most likely United Kingdom. I could say based on caps and I could upload caps. I could, but I've got the notes, so I really want it based on the notes. It's going to generate a lesson plan, which it should generate a lesson plan. On the right, while it's thinking about it, I can use instruction. I can change the tone, the length. There we go. The language. Here it comes. I can edit it. I can have a conversation. I can adjust the tone. I can save it to OneDrive. I can copy it. So if I save it to OneDrive, I'm just looking for a place to put it. Let's just stick it there. Oh, it's not going to work. Let's just stick it there. So I save it there. And if I go, it's not in my, it is in my cat folder. I'm not the history teacher. So here is the Exploring Africa scores, causes, processes, and legacy. So it took that. So here is my lesson plan. Sorry, I built in Copilot, so it's going to generate a summary at the top. There it is, the outline, the materials, so I can keep it. So, and save it in my OneDrive, and I can go to view the document. That's not all, folks. What's even more fun, so I can change it and I can add. So at the moment, this is the ST standards are coming here, but South Africa, sorry, I'm just checking that it's not here yet. South Africa is coming to this list. So if you keep checking, CAPS is coming to the list. But if you do, and they coming soon as a unit plan, you can do some of my favorite. You can create a rubric in here. So same idea, I can do the grade level, I can give it a title, I can give it a description up to 10,000, and it will create a rubric. You can create a quiz, which is really fun. So this is create a quiz on the attached notes, and we have really done this. So how many questions, how much time limit? 30 minutes. I am going to add, it says I can just drop the file. So let's check that it, so I can go to, we've done Scramble for Africa. We've done making South Africa. So let's do World War I. It didn't add them. No, it didn't add them. It should put them there. Okay, when the South African standards are, so I have to have 20 characters. I've got a whole 35. Those people who know Microsoft Forms, it is actually going to create a Microsoft form. I hope it's like the Word document that it just, nope. Sometimes if it's very busy, it gives you, I can't remember if this was done on the same history notes, but so there is Scramble for Africa, the modern history, done exactly the same way. Here is the form it will have created. 15 minutes, 10 questions with the answers. You can say collect responses and give them to your students if you have that ability for them to answer on some kind of device. And the one that my children like the most is learning activities. They like the matching and the fill in the blanks. Same idea, more than the flashcards, but fill in the blanks, you give it the learning content, you allow AI to do the content, and you can say blank. So create an activity for my grade 11s. I have notes, these notes that are generated in AI. I can generate it sorry, sip your tea, have a conversation with a friend. There we go. There's my activities. There are my questions. They're coming and popping up. So the answer is in blue. It's based, I can have a conversation with it. I'm going to say stop generating. It can generate more, add a blank exercise. You can regenerate it, add more, allow, make it, I made it very hard. I can give it a title, and then I can save it, which is over here, save the activity. But this play button lets me preview it. So it actually goes to a website called learningactivities.edu.cloud.microsoft, and I can share it with my students, and they actually can play it and try and fill it in. So I think I can preview it. So this is what they would get. And they have to fill in the words. My prompt was not that amazing, and I can check it and it tells me which ones I got wrong. But we're in preview mode. And if I share the link over here, they can do it. And if I go back to learning activities, here are my links for my other ones. They love the matching where they have to match information. So if I preview it, they can start the game. It's like match the two. How fast can you match? I'm not reading, so I'm not really doing it justice. But if the children have done it, they actually, you can get a score and who completed it and which ones they found challenging. It doesn't give you their names. Maybe at some point that will come. But it's pretty cool and wonderful for those minutes when you need something to fill their time as they're learning for a test. The flashcards, really, they just say whether they know it or not know it. And the last one that I want to do is to just talk about the new option, which mine is not there. So let's go. So yeah, it can generate quizzes. It can do all sorts of fun activities. And the last one is study and learn. So the one challenge is that all our students are using it, and therefore they are, we have to find a way to make sure that they don't copy and paste their answers per se. So in Copilot, there is this amazing tool, and I have tried it with my girls in my class. So it's called Study and Learn. Sorry, wrong click. And it in Copilot, it's up here. Or if you start a new chat, you can choose Study and Learn with the plus sign. Now what happens is, if you say, what is lava? AI is not going to answer the question. It's going to prompt them to say, before I explain it, understand what you already know. So I then can say melted rock, and it will go, it won't ever give me the generated answer until it's gone through. Here's this what do you think happens after? Well, it turns to steam. I don't really think that, but I see what you're thinking, but it's a bit of a mix-up. So it is designed to actually get them to think about the answer without, it does give them the answer eventually, but it has a conversation to help them learn. So one of my girls in my class uses it all the time for maths, and she loves it. So yes, you can turn out Copilot chat for over 13s if your students have Copilot licenses, which I'm not sure if they do, but even if they don't, they're using all kind of AI, and get them in. The idea is to actually not just ask for the answer, but get AI to explain it to them, because at the end of the day, the world they're entering expects AI fluency from learners. But when it comes to everything to do with AI, you, being the teacher, have the most important thing that AI doesn't, is you know your students. It can save you hours. You decide what to do with those hours, more feedback, more conversation, more of what making teaching great means. So with that, we came to the end. So what can you do? You can try the Microsoft Fluency module and pathway on Microsoft Learn platform. You can log into Copilot and use it and try some of the prompts we've given it. And if you have any questions or ideas, you can pop them in the chat, or you can switch on your mic and let us know. If you want to put your camera on, you're more than welcome to. We'd love to know if you've learned something, if you've what you want to try next. Any more questions? Carl, I'm sure, and you've just, somebody else posted it, because you can't. Well done, because I forgot. Carl can't chat. Yolan, I'm sorry if I didn't get your name right. Thank you for posting the fill-in form. If you fill it in, and it will send you a certificate of attendance immediately. So if you'd like to, I'm just going to check the Q&A, because I see something in Q&A.
It was just someone who had been kicked out of the chat. So they were asking, they said they can't chat. I just responded and said that sometimes you get an enable chat notification in your Teams that you need to acknowledge, and then it will pull you into the chat.
But otherwise, we can see the Q&A, so you're welcome to answer Q&A.
Yeah.
So there are 3 minutes left of the time. If you need to log off, I'm not sure if the Department of Education official is still around and like to say something before we, but we are...
Yeah, what,
yes.
Jardine is there.
Okay.
Good afternoon again, colleagues. Good afternoon for our presenters. I just want to thank everybody that attended the session. I know it was informative. We'll reach out to our participants again who completed the register when we have further courses coming your way, which will be very soon. Thank you to our presenters, and wish you a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for organizing it. As a teacher, it's always great to learn. Thank you to all those teachers joining us. If you need to log off and head off home, or carry on with your marking, please feel free. If you need to ask any questions, please ask some questions. Ask in the chat.
There's a hand up.
Valerie. You can unmute your mic, I think. Should be able to.
Yeah, they should be able to.
Valerie, but Kibole.
It was an accident. I don't have any question. It was an accident.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, but
not a problem.
did you learn something and have fun?
Sorry, ma'am.
Did you learn something and have fun?
Very much. Too much, ma'am. A
Oh,
lot.
good. Yes, there are two people with their hands up now. Carl, you're much better at names than...
And then there is, I can't see this next one. Let me just click on the name. Kelebongile.
Kele Bongile, if you'd like to switch on your mic and ask your question.
Good
day, colleagues. I just want to say thank you very much for the interesting session. This session was very interesting. We have learned a lot. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And then there's Ompolokile.
Oh, yes. Thank you for the session. It was very great. And also, what I appreciated the most is the agent part where you can like program your agent. And then in the future, I would like it to be more practical for schools that are limited with resources whereby you can effectively exercise this AI. But thank you for the presentation. It was good.
Well, thank you for spending the afternoon with us, all of you. So you're welcome to leave, welcome to ask questions. I'll check the chat. No more questions in the chat, Carl, just some thank yous. Michelle. You're welcome to switch on your mic.
Michelle Pretorius.
Maybe she's just battling to unmute herself. If you get your mic working, oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry, my internet connection is giving so much trouble. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
Oh, and now we can't.
Okay,
we
the
go.
first three sessions we filled in a questionnaire where they were asking a lot of information like the Dr. C.L. Smith Foundation, NG, blah, 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 blah. Are we not filling that in today?
We haven't been given that in order. The only thing that we've been given is the Microsoft form that we've sent out, and that will be attached. That will send you your certificate straight through to your email. And you'll be able to log your CPD points from there as well. And then that will form the official register for this training session.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
Cool, I think that's us.
Not sure, there's still quite a few people in the...
Thank you very much for the informative training session. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Bye. I think, oh, somebody got stuck in the
lobby. There's been a couple of people coming back in. So I don't know if they thought maybe we were still talking or...
Well, I reckon we give 1 more minute for any questions and then we'll end the session. Thank you to all those people who joined us. We hope you have a lovely evening and amazing rest of the term. Carl, I'm going to end the event.
Perfect.